and welcome to Level Up IAS and welcome back to 10-minute series. Today in this video we're going to look at the education commissions that were appointed under the British rule. This would be part 1 of your video. We're going to have another video tomorrow. So let's begin. This is a question which I want you to attempt after going through the video and you'll be able to answer it. Put your answers in the comment section below. Similarly, this time I have given you a mains question for 2 attempts. Write down your answers in the comment section. We will evaluate your answers. So let's begin with the video now. Some initial efforts by the British. Initially, the Court of Directors refused to take on itself the responsibility for the education of the people of India and decided to leave education to private effort. After some persuasion from Indian officers of the East India Company, some half-hearted efforts were taken up. In 1781, Warren Hastings set up Calcutta Madrasa for the study and learning of Persian and Arabic. In 1791, Jonathan Duncan opened a Sanskrit college at Banaras for the cultivation of the laws, literature and religion of the Hindus. The first formal beginning towards the development of education was in 1813 with the Charter Act of 1813, in which an annual expenditure was provided for the revival and promotion of literature and for the introduction and promotion of science among the inhabitants of the British territories. Adams Report. William Adam came to India in 1818 and spent about 27 years here. He came into contact with Raja Ram Mohan Roy and both of them influenced each other. Lord William Bentinck, the Governor General of India, appointed Adam in 1835 to survey the state of education in Bengal and Bihar and to suggest reforms. Adam submitted 3 reports. The reports proved that indigenous existing mass education system was destroyed and instead brought elite education in the name of downward filtration, which ultimately led to increasing illiteracy in India due to British education policy. Orientalist-Anglicist Controversy. The Orientalists were the people who advocated the policy of giving encouragement to Oriental literature, whereas Anglicists favored the adoption of English as a medium of instruction. Macaulay was a famous Anglicist and is known for his Minute on Education, which was accepted by the government of Lord Bentinck in March 1835. Some of the features of Macaulay's Minute on Education. The government's objective should be the promotion of English literature and science through the medium of English language. Education of the masses was not the aim of it, instead emphasis was given on the theory of infiltration. James Thomason experiment. He held numerous positions under the British government, including magistrate collector, settlement officer in Azamgarh, and foreign secretary to the government of India. By 1853, he had also established a system of 897 locally supported elementary schools in centrally located villages that provided vernacular education for children throughout the region. James Thomason proposed that a civil engineering college be established at Roorkee. The college, now the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, was founded in 1847. The main building of IIT Roorkee was renamed to James Thomason Building in his honor by an act of the Board of Governors of the Institute in December 2013, and a road on campus also bears his name. Sir Charles Wood Dispatch on Education, 1854. In 1854, Charles Wood prepared a dispatch on an educational system for India. This document is considered as the Magna Carta of English education in India. The main recommendations of the dispatch are as follows. It declared that the aim of government's education policy was the teaching of the Western education. As the medium of instruction, it declared that for the higher education, English language was the most perfect medium of education. It also gave importance to vernacular languages, for it was through the medium of vernacular languages that European knowledge could infiltrate to the masses. Universities on the model of London University were proposed for Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. It emphasized the importance of vocational instruction and the need for establishing technical schools and colleges. It emphasized on the importance of education for women. Hunter Education Commission 1882 to 1883. In 1882, the government appointed a commission under the chairmanship of W. W. Hunter to review the progress of education in the country since the dispatch of 1854. The main recommendations are as follows. It emphasized the state's special care for the extension and improvement of primary education. For secondary education, the principle was laid down that there should be two divisions. One, a literary education leading up to the entrance exam of the university, and the other of a practical character preparing students for commercial and vocational careers. Commission encouraged private enterprise in the field of education. It drew attention to the inadequate facilities for female education and emphasized on the need to change it. The Indian Universities Act 1904. In September 1901, Curzon summoned the highest educational officers of the government throughout India and representatives of universities for round-table conference at Shimla. The conference adopted 150 resolutions which touched almost every conceivable branch of education. This was followed by the appointment of a commission under the presidency of Sir Thomas Raleigh on 27 January 1902 to enquire into the condition and prospects of the universities in India. As a result of the report on the recommendations of the commission, the Indian Universities Act was passed in 1904. The main changes were as under. It fixed the number of fellows. The university need to have more than 50 and less than 100 at any point of time, and majority of them were to be nominated by the government. The governor was given the power to veto the regulations passed by the Senate of the university. Government Resolution on Education Policy 1913. In 1906, the progressive state of Baroda introduced compulsory primary education throughout its territories. As a result, there was demand in other parts of the country to introduce compulsory primary education. British government in its resolution of 1913 refused to recognize the principle of compulsory education but accepted the policy of the removal of illiteracy. It urged the provincial governments to take early steps to provide free elementary education to the poor and more backward sections of the population. Private effort in this direction was also encouraged. The Sadler University Commission 1917 to 1919. The commission included two Indian members, namely Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee and Dr. Zia-Uddin Ahmed. The commission was appointed to review the entire field of education from school education to university education. It recommended that the improvement of secondary education was a necessary condition for the improvement of university education. It recommended a 12-year school course. It emphasized on the result of intermediate examination rather than the matriculation for the students to take admission in university. It limited the duration of the degree course to 3 years. It stressed the need for extension of facilities for female education and recommended the establishment of a special board of women education in the Calcutta University. The Hartog Committee 1929. The Hartog Committee 1929 to survey on the growth of education in India. The committee highlighted the problem of wastage and stagnation in education at the primary level. Recommendations of Hartog Committee for reforms in higher education are: it recommended controlling the admission process in universities on the basis of the capabilities and aptitude of students. The recommendation was made to make the honors course more advanced, and it was to be instituted only at the universities. The committee also recommended for the promotion of technical and commercial education by universities to control the problem of unemployment. Sargent Plan of Education 1944. The Sargent Plan of Education. The situation of education was deteriorating in India, and British government realized that it can no longer remain detached from the problems of education in India. When British became hopeful of its victory in the World War, it gave attention to the education system in India. The Sargent Plan of Education came after Sir John Sargent was given the task to prepare a comprehensive scheme of education for India in 1944. It provided for the promotion of pre-primary education in the form of nursery schools. The Sargent Plan of Education recommended to raise the standard of education in the universities and allow only capable students to take university education. This is it for this video. Thank you, and I hope you liked it, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel.